A lot has happened online. I have been dialed in to this drama. Do you want to touch a little bit on what's been going on?
Yeah, so there was this girl, and she was out bar hopping last weekend, and an interviewer put a microphone up and asked her,
Oh my God!
what?
No.
Yeah, when you said I've been deep in the internet for 2 weeks, I'm like, so you've seen nothing but Hawk Tuah.
Yeah.
That's all you've seen. And remixes of that, and turning it into songs, and putting her on memes. If that woman is not married by the end of this year, every man on earth is fucking up.
Hello, and welcome back to Time Well Meant, the podcast about gaming, the goings on of the internet, and most importantly, mental health. Today's episode, we're going to try and figure out why the left Twix doesn't quite feel right. With me, as always, is he told me not to boost his ego, but I'm going to anyways. It's the beautiful, the wonderful, the fantastic, and amazing Kirby. How are you doing today?
I should have known better. I just should have known better than to say anything. I'm doing great, man. Doing really well since our last episode. I just want the whole world to know I got a new washing machine. The absolute top of the line best that Samsung had on sale at Best Buy that day.
Hell
That's
yeah. Is this a show for Best Buy where it's like, everyone go buy your washing machines at Best Buy?
Yeah. I used to work there, so go support them.
Yeah. Support our corporate overlords. That's what
right.
I want.
That's
That's the real message of the podcast.
The CEO of Best Buy cannot afford that third yacht without you.
Exactly. How are his family going to live in such a way?
They can't. Can't be done.
It's one of those things that, it's sad to see. There's a lot of horrible and terrible things in the world right now, but watching that man not have that third yacht, that's where I draw the fucking line. Today we got a lot to talk about today. The thing that's kind of interesting about doing the podcast bi-weekly is the fact that there's so much that kind of happens within our own personal lives, but then also in the world of the internet and things like that. So we got a lot to talk about today, but I wanted to open with a question for you, Kirby, in fact. So for those of you who tuned in not last week, but week before last, when we had the podcast, Kirby ended with a little question about music. And my question for you was, and thankfully I have it written down, so hopefully I won't, jumble it like I did our
You were
intro.
so on my ass to write it down. So
and I made sure this time I had to write it down because I would have totally forgotten if I hadn't.
Sylas leads by example, and that's what I appreciate about him.
Oh God. Okay. How has music affected your mental health, and how would you say it's driven your life in a positive manner? So, because I know that to give a bit more context, I know that you mentioned last time about how, and we didn't really go into it. We more talked about just the album that had the biggest effect on our lives. So I kind of wanted to go a little bit more into how is it, how do you use it in your daily life? How are you using it in the past? For me, one of the things that I was going to talk about was the fact that there are certain, whether they be albums or certain songs that almost have a hit of nostalgia for me, where I'll hear a song and it brings me back to a certain point in my life where I either feel joy or I feel maybe some form of sadness. Just something. I always relate music to times in my life. For instance, I've been listening to a band called Hers a lot lately. And that's kind of just, it's been my daily driver. And it doesn't necessarily have any impact now, but I feel like down the line it will have impact. So I was just curious about what is that like for you? I want to hear your side of this. You know what I mean?
I love this question. Couple notes off the gate. First of all, it was the earliest album that had a large impact on you. I don't want everyone in the world to think that Papa Roach's Getting Away with Murder has shaped my life on the grand scale. But 100% I have the same, I have some songs that are I have a list of songs I could name you right now that'll make me cry every single time because they remind me of something. Generally it's someone. Certain song just instantly makes me think of my grandmother, certain song instantly makes me think of my grandfather, so on and so forth. As far as in the day-to-day, man, I said this last episode, I don't think I'd get through without it, man. I need it. There's a song or a lyric or something for every mood, whatever I need, I can find it. feeling exceptionally angry or hateful, man, there's this band called Spite. That's what you need in your life. If I'm feeling, a lot of times I like to wake up in the morning. One of the first things I listen to on my drive to work is a group called Too Many Zoos, which is not metal at all. It's like a jazz instrumental thing. Love them. Start the day off right, a little happy, a little chill, you know?
Hell yeah.
I could go on forever, but yeah, man, I also, not really purposely, but just while I'm listening to music, I will analyze lyrics a lot. I love to know, I'm such a nerd for that. I want to know what do people perceive the song to be about, and what did the writer actually intend? And then it's cool to kind of get that idea going in. Oh, I think it's about this, and then you read the person who wrote it, and it's not just 100 miles the opposite direction. It's like, okay, but now I see it, and I understand it, I feel it, I get it.
Do you think that your understanding of certain songs and pieces of music has changed with time? Because for me, like, I used to look at like a band like AC/DC, and I would read a lot of their music is very topical. But I used to read a lot more in depth into it and like try and make it be so much deeper than it really had to be. But a lot of it was more just like, this is what I'm feeling in the moment. This is the energy and this is the emotion that I'm bringing to this. But do you think like you at like, 18 or 19 or even, younger or older versus how you look at music and how it's made you feel now, whether that be music that you used to listen to that you kind of go back and visit, or music that you're discovering now, do you think that you view it in a different way, or is it kind of just stayed the same where you're still viewing it the same kind of way?
100%. It's changed, or it can change. I think something that's really beautiful about music is I think you can ascribe kind of what you want to it at times. If you hear a certain song lyric, especially with a certain background music that invokes a certain emotion, your mind will immediately kind of, I think that's probably about this. He probably means something this, he or she, whatever. And then as you grow up, maybe you listen to the song more, and then like, oh, I'd never heard that line before. That's not what it's about at all. Or you look it up, and then you learn whatever. I'm really glad you asked that, though. There was a song by Lupe Fiasco called Cold War. Okay. And I'd never fully understood that song. And then recently I actually looked up the lyrics, and I was like, holy shit. The song is about losing loved ones. And how I didn't pick up on that, I don't know, because that's usually a theme I pick up on pretty strongly.
Yeah. For me, I usually will have to read, because the thing of it is, I guess when I have to read the lyrics to really get an idea about what an artist might be talking about, because for me, I dial in more to the emotion of the song and kind of the way that it's making me feel in the moment versus like later on I'll look at the lyrics and go, okay, I can see what they might have been talking about or what they were trying to, like if there was a message they're trying to get across. Obviously some songs it's a little bit more forward and present with the message, but like there are songs where there's those like underlying tones or there's little things that get pointed out or brought to the forefront that you don't initially catch, but then on you listen to it again, and then or you read the lyrics or whatever it may be, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This is why this sounds this way, or this is why he's talking about this, or this is what the whole point of the whole thing was. And I was just curious because I for me and you, I think we've both kind of come to the same conclusion of music is such a huge part of our life. I've used it especially in recent times to, calm myself down if I'm kind of going through it. One of the other questions I had was, because, for me, I've learned through time and obviously through, the journey of life and kind of life experience of how to, cope with different things, that have just kind of gone in my life. And you were talking recently about how, you had just found out about the fact that you have anxiety. And so I was curious about since you found out about that, what is something that, whether it be like for me, it's always been like, there's a number of different things that I have to kind of calm myself down. I was curious about what that is for you.
Oh my gosh. It's interesting that you say that. I don't think musically anything has changed since finding that out. But I have always had the same potentially unhealthy kind of coping mechanism. If I'm extraordinarily pissed, if I'm like shaking angry and I don't know what to do with myself, maybe someone else would turn on like a calming song, But what really works for me is to turn on that hateful music and just like pump myself up into the zone of hatred that kind of lets it go, I guess. I don't, maybe that's unhealthy, or maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, man, the other thing that you said is, as far as like your understanding of a lyric or a song, it also just changes as you grow, because then you have a new experience. And then, like I said, you kind of ascribe the lyrics to be whatever you want. And with some lyrics out there, it is very direct. They have this message. They're saying that's what it is. That's what they meant. There's a band called Trivium you might have heard of. Their vocalist has like a pretty famous quote where he's like, I write the most vague shit possible. That way, anybody, it can mean whatever you want it to.
I think that I appreciate that the most about bands, where, I mean, I do appreciate when somebody has a very direct and forward message, but I can also really appreciate when someone's like, listen, man, it's up to your interpretation. This is completely off topic of music, but the 40K universe, which is, I really enjoy the lore of Warhammer 40K, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I say 40K.
That lore is crazy.
Crazy. And there's a lot of the stories and a lot of the lore that's been told that's all kind of up to interpretation, because it's told from the narrative of humans, and that perspective of like mankind is writing history, you know, and it's not necessarily history from the point of view of the victor, but it's history from the point of view of just mankind. Whether they're winning or losing is a matter of perspective. You know, from their perspective, they may want to show that they're winning, but the actuality and the truth of the matter could be much different. But you're allowed to kind of like take everything with a grain of salt and make your own interpretations for a lot of that. So I was curious about if maybe that would be something that I'm glad that it is something that, because I think that we kind of see the same sort of appreciation for that, of like allowing for listener interpretation, because that's what I fucking love that shit.
It's just the beauty of music that there's so much variance out there. You know, you have those songs that are pointed with that message. You have the songs that are vague. You have everything in between. Songs with no lyrics, man.
Yeah.
You got people playing buckets on Spotify. That's a beautiful world out there. I actually don't know if that's real. I just assume it is.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
If it's not, look for the link in the description below.
No. We're going to put out, little do you know, Time Well Meant is also a front for our bucket playing band.
Buckets Well Meant.
Buckets Well Meant, yes. God damn it. No, we don't have any. I've never been musically inclined. I enjoy singing. I never was. I have siblings and friends, and you know, my you know, uncles and everyone around me has always been musically inclined. I never was. I've always had a deep appreciation for music, but I never got to the point where I have one experience with music. I'll tell this little story that when I was 10, my dad at a family reunion, and to give a little context, my family is gigantic. The last time we were at a family reunion, we had to have color-coded T-shirts to kind of separate the individual, like, smaller families. I am, for those of you who are watching and may not know this, I am half Hispanic. So one side is Hispanic, the other side is white. And the white family is like, 10, 15 people, and the Mexican side, there's like 100 of us, right? So I'm at this family reunion. I'm 10 years old, and I go. My dad had told me a couple months before. He was like, "Hey, by the way, you're gonna go up there with your uncle, and you're gonna sing, because my uncle plays guitar. He's like, you're gonna go up there and sing this song. It's a song that I loved. It's a song called "Tush" by ZZ Top, and loved the song. Knew every lyric. Knew all the beats, whatever. And he was like, "You're gonna go up there." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he was like, "You're gonna go up there and you're gonna sing it." And I was like, "I don't want to. I don't want to do that. No." And push comes to shove. We didn't rehearse. We didn't do anything.
Where's the video?
There is. I don't know. My cousins. What's funny is that my cousins. I had a few of my cousins that just mercilessly bullied me about. We got that on video. We got that on camera. It's like, fuck. Yeah. Delete it. Burn it, please.
Okay, I'm gonna start hunting through your socials. Find them cousins.
Digging. I don't think. I don't know who would even have a video. But anyway, so I get up there, get through the first verse, bomb the first. I completely missed my mark, my intro, and I knew all the words. I just choked. I was scared. I was 10.
Right words at the wrong time.
No, I sang the right words, but the whole verse played out, just the instrumental, because they knew they had practiced. They knew. And so the first verse happens, and I was like, oh shit, like second verse, I miss it again. And so they play through the whole thing, wrap back around, and do it again. Thankfully, they're, skilled musicians, so they knew what they were doing. The third verse gets to it, and by that point, I get handed a piece of paper that has the lyrics on it. I knew all the lyrics. That was the thing that kind of upset me. I knew every word. And they hand me the lyrics, and by the time I get to the third verse, I crumple it up. I was like, I got this. And I fucking started and got to the song. It was painful. And it really killed a lot of my confidence for anything musically. I never wanted to pursue. I think for maybe when I was younger, I was like, I still love to sing, and definitely when I get drunk, you can't get me to shut the fuck up. But it's one of those things that it really killed my confidence in that way. But the one thing that I took away from it that always stuck in my head was my uncle goes, well, you did a good job. You cut my solo short by going into the third verse too quick, but yeah, it was still good. I was like, I'm 10, my guy.
That's a lot to put on a 10-year-old, dude.
Oh God.
No, I've been playing guitar for like 10 plus years.
No shit.
I would not consider myself to be anything impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not writing no solos or anything like that. But my thing was always the vocals, do metal vocals. Like I told you when I got this mic, like we got a new mic to make sure I could put out a high quality product for our amazing listeners out there. And I was telling Sylas, like, dude, I wonder if this would be good for going back to my old ways.
Yeah.
Give it a try. What is this button? Huh. Anyways, go ahead.
What does this do? I don't know. Yeah, it's been really funny having the new setup because shout out to Kevin. We love you, Kevin. Appreciate
Kevin.
Your kind, considerate offering of the microphone that Kirby is now using.
It was not free. Don't get it twisted.
It was not free. It was not free. And Kirby's knees will prove it.
Scabs. Nothing but scabs at this point.
Oh my God. That's real rough love right there. Jesus Christ.
Friends for 20 years. He treats me right.
Yeah. God, that's something that always, putting that into perspective of being a friend of somebody for 20 years is always something that's like, holy shit. Because I'm getting to that point where I'm like, 16, 17, 18 years, but I haven't hit that 2-decade mark, man. That's kind of props to y'all for that.
You'll get there. Were we just discussing this? Aren't you and I getting...
We're getting up to like the 10 years, I think. We're getting up there.
I don't want to rehash all back into that.
I think that was a lot of stuff that we talked about in episode 0. So it would have been anything that...
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the bonus content. Yeah. Unreleased.
It's
in the archive.
Yeah. It'll be something that I think at some point in time. The thing about it was, man, is it was such a... I don't think I did anything with the audio. I don't think I did anything editing. Editing-wise, I did very minimal stuff. Because I just wanted to, it was like, let's see what we can do. That was
our test.
That was our test.
And that was the one where I had that really crappy mic, and the first, 10 minutes was the birds outside my window.
That's where we figured out about the birds. Yeah, that's been a... and it's funny, too. We got a little bit of feedback about the podcast, which is something that I... really appreciate. We got what was the comment that was left on the YouTube video?
The one that was totally not me that said cool podcast?
Yeah, cool podcast.
Yeah, appreciate that guy.
We also my brother was kind enough to give me some feedback, and that's one thing that I wanted to move into. Was kind of trying to he made a really good point, he and I just kind of talking back and forth about the fact that we are still kind of finding our voice. We're still trying to figure out exactly what the podcast is about. If you'll notice, and for those of you who, maybe aren't, if you're driving to work or whatever you're doing, we changed up the intro a little bit, trying to kind of give more perspective about what we're about, the things that we want to talk about and the things that are going to, like going forward, what we're going to end up talking about. And I think that it's important to find a voice. It's important to have direction, not only in this podcast, but just kind of in life. Not knowing
as a person,
sort of the path that you want to take is always something that, like, I was like that for a number of years, where it was just like, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of pressing W, taking it day by day.
So you're telling me that you have it all figured out now? You know exactly
no,
what you're doing,
not
where
at all.
you're going?
But not in the slightest. But I do have more of an idea. I have like, because I like to plan things out. I'm not huge on spontaneity. but I do like to have not necessarily a clear path. It never has to be a clear path, but I always like having I like having an idea about where I'm going. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's that's been something that I've been. I mean, I don't know. It's just I like having a general idea, because if I don't, then it's like, fuck, man. I hate being lost. I hate not knowing what I'm doing. You know,
I just feel bored if I don't know the next step. I'll just end up staring at the wall.
Yeah, I mean,
something to do.
Yeah, even if it's something like just for the day. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know. I don't know why that reminds me of the old Rooster Teeth, Red versus Blue. What are we doing here? And then he goes into the real deep diatribe. Like, no, I mean, like, in this valley.
In this valley, yeah.
What was all that stuff about life, man? It's just, oh, God. Anyways. But yeah, a lot has been going on, man. Like I said, in the past 2 weeks, a lot has happened online. I have been dialed in to this drama. Do you want to touch a little bit on what's been going on?
Yeah, so there's this girl, she was out bar hopping last weekend, and an interviewer put a microphone up and asked her...
Oh my God.
Yeah, when you said I've been deep in the internet for 2 weeks, I'm like, so you've seen nothing but Hawk Tuah. Yeah. That's all you've seen. And remixes of that, and turning it into songs, and putting her on memes. If that woman is not married by the end of this year, every man on earth is fucking up. That's what I have to say about it.
We were just talking about direction. Clearly, none of you have any.
The direction presented itself to you on the internet in meme form. Go after it respectfully and with consent.
Yes. Most importantly, respectfully and with consent. God damn it.
I knew what you were going at.
Holy shit. Talk about a fucking left hook. Oh my God, that's really good. Fuck. Oh my God.
All right, so Dr. Disrespect.
The doctor
Apparently,
himself.
he's not really a doctor.
No shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my God. I feel deceived.
But man, on the real, Dr. Disrespect, you say whatever you want about him, whether you like his shtick or don't. Up until a couple days ago, I don't think anybody could argue. Like, he's a hell of an entertainer, man.
Yeah.
You turn him on and you're going to spend a few minutes there. Even if you're just going, is this guy for real? You're going to engage longer than just, looking at you or I.
Yeah.
And I've been a fan. I'm not like watching him every single day or like following him religiously or anything, but if I see him streaming, I pop it on. Always give me a laugh because he's just so damn cocky, and then he fucks up and just plays it off, and stuff like that. Watching him do Wordle, amazing.
And fucking Wordle.
I got Wordle in 2 today. Come at me.
Oh, let's go.
So, as everybody probably knows, though, Dr. Disrespect 4 years ago was banned completely and suddenly from Twitch. Mm-hmm. And he stated, what was it, like 2 years later, they settled out of court, no wrongdoing. Yep. He's getting paid, but he's not going to go back to Twitch. He's been on YouTube ever since. This past few days, some information was revealed. Yeah,
there was a guy that came out as a former Twitch employee, came out and said, hey, the real reason that Doc got banned was because he was sending illicit messages to minors. And that was
his tweet said sexting a minor. Those were the words.
Sexting a minor. Yes, he was sexting a minor. That was the big thing. And so for the first like day or two, a lot of people were like, well, innocent. And I will say this. It is an accusation. You always have to say like allegedly with these things. A lot of people in the commentary space will always say allegedly, and that's to cover your own ass. You don't want to make these sort of accusations. That was the thing too. Is like a lot of people were saying like, holy shit, this guy is going to get the balls suit off of him, making this sort of accusation with like no evidence. And that was the thing.
And the doc has a lot of money.
He has a shitload of money, so that lawsuit would have hurt. But that was the thing too. Is like there's a lot of people out there who are quick, especially on Twitter. They're very quick to jump to conclusions to immediately go, this guy's fucking guilty.
I read this tweet. We're canceling this person.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, they're so quick to be like, fuck this guy because I just don't like him. And I can understand from the perspective of who he associates with, the sort of views that he might have, people are very quick to jump on that. The political sphere always gets kind of melded into it
His
with
hot,
this sort of
crazy
drama.
wife.
I mean, just anything and everything that can be thrown at this guy is going to be thrown. You know, the fact that he cheated on his wife in 2017.
It was also in 2017. And that loops back around to this because I don't know if you read this part, but the messages he was trying to meet the minor at TwitchCon 2017. So that was,
this is allegedly. We don't know.
Sorry, allegedly he was trying to meet this minor at TwitchCon. That didn't happen, and then he ended up cheating on his wife at that TwitchCon.
Yeah. It was a whole big debacle. I mean, he came on stream without the Dr. Disrespect persona, without his, all his gear on. For those of you who don't know who Dr. Disrespect is, he has a wig, he has glasses he wears, his fucking headset.
He's got that stash, dude.
Got the stash. But he came on without all that and was crying and, saying, oh, man, I fucked up. But little did we know that he had really fucked up. And the thing about it was, so when these accusations came out, a lot of people were questioning. And I am always of the camp of not necessarily innocent to prove guilty, but I will wait for more information. I'm not going to point fingers and go, you're the worst. You know what I mean? You're evil.
With something like that.
Yes.
Because like an accusation like that, if it's whether it's true or not, that's gonna mess with your life.
Yeah.
If it's true, it should mess with your life, and you should go rot in hell. But
exactly, it's something it's very sensitive. It's needs to be handled with care, and it's one of those things that again, I prefer to know everything. You know what I mean? In any sort of argument, I want to hear both sides. So for this just to be thrown out there, that's like, oh shit. Push comes to shove.
I mean, as soon as that first tweet came out, I was just grabbing a bag of popcorn. Like, this is about to get good.
Yeah. Doc tweeted, he was like, this is all settled out of the court. The way that he worded it was so poor. And people were already like, buddy, are you okay? Because the thing about it is like, and from some of the videos that I was watching, and it makes a lot of sense. There's no NDA in the world that says that you can't say, I did not sext minors. Like, you know what I mean? There's no NDA in the world that says that you can't outright say that. And the fact that he didn't come out immediately and say that, the nail in the coffin that I think kind of pushed him to confess and talk more about it was the game studio that he was working with.
Multiple of his sponsors. Turtle Beach dropped him, the game studio, and some other company as well.
The San Francisco 49ers, the football team.
Oh my God. Imagine getting canceled by that ugly fuck George Kittle. Sorry.
But yeah, everyone pretty much. Well, it started with the game design company. They said we did an internal investigation. We got more information. We're cutting all ties, and that was when Doc released his tweet that said, "Hey, I did it." And that was, as far as I'm concerned, it's not the end of the saga because I mean, there's still people who are defending him. Which is weird as fuck. There's still people who are, who are just dancing on his ashes. I mean, this guy is fucking cooked, and I mean royally cooked.
I don't understand that so much either. Like
watching someone's downfall
why do you
and celebrating
hate someone on the internet so much that I mean,
it can be for a number of reasons.
With Doc, it's probably just his whole persona. He's a big cocky asshole. Everybody hates a big cocky asshole.
Yeah. Again, I think, and it also has to do with association. I'm not going to get too much into it, but like, I know there's a bunch of people who were attacking Nick Merckx as well because of the fact that he was like, for context, a few years ago, Nick Merckx made a tweet that was like, we just want you to leave the kids alone. It's basically, it's been memed on now, but he was talking about gay people. He was saying that the gays should leave kids alone, that they're all pedophiles. Basically, is what he was insinuating.
Classic.
From there, he has still continued to be. I mean, even when he immediately responded to the initial Doc accusations, he was immediately transphobic. He has been very openly trans and homophobic. It's just kind of like a known thing. And Doc, when Call of Duty took away his skin that he had inside of Call of Duty.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
He stood by him. Dr. Disrespect stood by him. So it's the thing that I fucking hate I get why, but a lot of it becomes politicized. I'm in agreement that fuck Nick Merckx. I'm not a huge fan. I think it's gross if you're going to just be outright hateful to people, even if you don't know them. If you're not going to at least get to know somebody within that community, it's like if you hate, cheese and you've never fucking eaten it. It's kind of the I think it's that same sort of,
It's a little bit apples and oranges there, but okay.
Apples and
I get what
but
you mean.
It's just if you have never
Gays
experienced, so many common but what I mean is if you've never, because I doubt that he's got us, and we're not gonna delve too much of that. I could rant for too long about that. But I think by association and through I mean, and here's the thing too is people want to see people who are big fall. I mean, you want to see, in a way, it's like watching a train crash, which goes even beyond a car crash, where the train is going to crash, and it's going to crash fucking hard, and it's going to crash for a while because there's a lot of cars behind it that got to fucking fall off those rails.
You know all about trains.
I do. I know. I could talk all day about trains. But it's one of those things, man, where I think that it's a number of factors. But at the end of the day, more than anything, it's just sad to see. I think that it's sad to see somebody who was the one thing. I was never a huge fan of Doc. He had a couple clips that I really liked, but the one thing that I really appreciated about Doc is that he provided something good for men to look up to in terms of, talking about
that hot wife.
No,
sorry.
In terms of he would try and be a positive influence for men, to try and be there
was multiple clips of him breaking character to be real with people.
Exactly. To try and tell you to get out there and better yourself, and not in the sense of this is something that I really wanted to talk about. It's what I wanted to kind of move into from this topic, which was.
Can I make one more statement on
absolutely,
the doc?
Yes.
Because the thing that I wanted to say about it is kind of the latest update that we have here right now. He put out that long tweet, and he said, the way he phrased it just pissed me off. He's like, was I messaging? Did I do it? Yes. Did our conversations lean inappropriate? Yes. But I am not a predator. Dude, you literally just said, I was messaging inappropriate messages to a child, but don't worry, I'm not a predator. Dude, it's just... so many things in this world that are, kind of shades of gray, and some things are black and white. That feels pretty black and white to me. I'm also not a fan of these celebrities and things of that nature when they say, oh, he was talking to a minor woman. No, it's not a minor woman. That's a child. It's a child, dude. I understand there's maybe a little difference depending on your states or whatever. 17, you're considered an adult and stuff. But, I mean... kind of the general consensus for Americans is 18, you become an adult. So below that, you're a fucking child. It's gross, man. I can't fathom being in a position where you have kind of everything that, from the outside looking in, of course, Doc has everything, right? I mean, I'm going to make the joke again. Hot wife, big house, cars. He plays video games all day for a living, makes tons of money off of sponsors, and he gets to be creative and do whatever he wants. From the outside looking in, it looks fantastic. The grass is always greener, but why? Why? Just why, man?
Yeah, I think that's the question that gets asked all the time, is why these people in power have so much going for them. Like Kevin Spacey is another example. The thing that sucks right now is there's a laundry list. A mini lad.
Too many examples.
Fucking Call Me Carson, all of these people who are in positions of power that took advantage of that power in one way or another, to varying degrees, right? And you go, it's just so mind-blowing where it's and I've seen so many TikToks and posts on Twitter and all these people talking about, you literally have everything and the one thing you have to do is not talk to minors, right? It's the one thing that I saw that gave a lot of perspective was there's a guy that I watch called Some Ordinary Gamers. This guy named Mudahar. And he was talking about how there are minors that will reach out to him and they go, hey, man, I want to get into computer science. I want to get into, developing or whatever, whatever in his field. Mm-hmm. And, or I want to get into cybersecurity, whatever. And they reach out to him for advice, right? And he'll go, yeah, man, I'm willing to give them some advice. I'm willing to point them in the right direction. But the moment that anything becomes sexual or inappropriate, it's an immediate block. It's an immediate, it's that is your responsibility as a creator to form that line, right? We've had, growing up playing video games, we've had people who are, minors that we play games with, and it never becomes this weird like sexual thing. We play games, and that's that. It's never like, hey, what are you doing? It never is fucking weird.
Was Ramsey a minor when we first started talking to him?
Yeah, Ramsey was.
And then the running joke for like a year was that he was a hot girl, and so we might have skated a line there in hindsight.
Shit. Yeah, fuck. But the thing about it was always like we would joke. It never got to the point of like I want to fuck Ramsey. You know what I mean? It wasn't until he was
said that.
Once he was of age.
We didn't know. I don't think we knew he was a minor until
I knew that. Oh no. Well, and the thing about it is, I don't know if y'all knew him. I knew him when he was like 15, I think, and it never got fucking weird. It was always like, hey, we're gonna play this game together. And then
imagine that you didn't sext a minor.
Imagine.
Good job,
I never sent him my dick.
Damn.
Never once was
no
like
asshole pics.
No asshole pics. Never one. I don't even think that Ramsey knew what I looked like until a couple of years ago. I guess I don't.
You're a true role model.
I think the only way he would have been able to see what I look like is like when I was streaming on Twitch. But yeah, I don't think I ever said he was a hot girl. I did say he was a girl, but that was because he wouldn't talk, and that was right. I was definitely a bully in that capacity.
So that was our running joke. Is a hot girl.
Yeah. That was yeah. It was one of those things that went on for way too long, and the funny thing is once he finally was like, hey, by the way, I'm a dude. And it was like, okay, all right. Because he was so...
Our first response from the whole group was like, no, you're not. You're a hot girl. Shut up.
God damn it. Oh, fuck. But yeah, anyways, going back into what I was talking about before, there's a certain thing that I really wanted for people to, or there's something that I kind of wanted for, I guess, young men in general, is that I want people to have someone to look up to, like a creator to look up to. There are people, I think here's the thing. You shouldn't ever worship or idolize these creators. Like, don't ever do that. That's just
no musician,
stupid.
No celebrity,
no
political officials, none of that.
But
they're just humans. We all take shits.
Yeah. We all have, what was that? Was that a Dane Cook bit that was like, we all take painful shits?
Yeah. Everybody gets an itchy asshole sometimes.
There you go. But the thing about it is like, I just hate that right now, because in terms of what young men have to look up to, it's one of those things that I feel like there's a lot of absence. There's a lot of like absence of good role models is what I mean. When you look at like the red pill community and like the manosphere and all those sorts of things, where it's like,
you're saying Andrew Tate's not a good role model?
No, surprisingly not. Yeah, no.
Oh. Hold on, I gotta go unsubscribe to a newsletter.
I mean, don't get me wrong, man. He's said
that was a joke.
Things.
I don't just clearing that joke.
He has said some things about take care of yourself. I'm obviously not a very shining example of take care. I didn't take care of myself for many years. It's only recently that I've started to love and take care of myself, and figure out that about fucking. But it's only recently, and I think that there's not a lot of people like I said. He's said a couple things that it's like, okay, that makes sense. And it's all very basic stuff. Try and eat right when you can. Exercise, things like that. Like, do what you can to live a good and better life for yourself, to better yourself. You should always be trying to better yourself. The thing about it is it's always veiled in some sort of scam, where it's always targeted at the most innocent population of men, the most vulnerable, the guys who are really lost and without direction. We talked earlier about direction, and trying to find that direction. It's always going to be a challenge. And you look to outside sources, you look to creators, you look to people who inspire you, and people will look to all these different avenues. The thing about it is right now it's so poisonous. It's you have all these people who are like, you need to be fucking shredded. You need to have a model wife, alpha. If you want to be an alpha, which is how you need to live, there's no other way to live. You need to be an alpha. You need to be a millionaire by 20, which let me tell you, if you're not a millionaire by 20 and you're not fucking running 10 businesses, like it's setting these impossible standards. So,
but ultimately he's just making money off these people.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that sucks is like, let me teach you everything. And that's so many of these people, so many of these creators who are like, let me just teach you everything that I know. When in actuality, it's like, I'm going to tell you the most basic bullshit and bye, thanks for the money,
It's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Not exactly what you were saying, but I think the most simple things to remind people of are sometimes it feels like, I'm not going to tell you that you should take care of yourself because that's such a simple, obvious thing. It feels like, why would I even say it out loud? Maybe that's not the best example, but things like that it is important to hear somebody exactly what you're saying. Like if you have a boss, a friend, family member, I don't know, creator, whatever it may be, if you have someone that you look up to and they're like, don't forget to take care of yourself, that means more just because it's somebody you look up to telling you to do it. So those things are important and they do need to be said, which I think is kind of why we're here a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, regardless of what, if we're laughing about our friends or if we're talking about insane, internet drama, or if we're, just kind of riffing about whatever is kind of what we're interested in, at that day, I think the bottom line, we're here to present ourselves. We're here to present ourselves as human and as two men who have collectively lived a good amount of life and have these experiences that we can, we've lived a decent amount. We're in our 30s, all right? That's like a million fucking years old on the internet, okay?
That is, honestly. I don't know anybody older than me.
Yeah, we are ancient, okay? That being said, I think that it's important to be able to share our learned wisdom. The thing about it is people end up having, influences from all sorts of places. And I think that we've had a sort of influence that's allowed us to sort of look at life from a certain perspective that I think is a lot healthier than what is being put out right now. You know what I mean? And that may be subjective. That I may be completely fucking wrong about it. We did fucking bully our underage friend about thought he was a fucking girl. That was only because he didn't talk, to give context to that. Which is fucked up in and of itself. But.
No, it was awesome. Are you kidding me? I would do it again every time. No, that's kind of an interesting point, though. I'm just sitting here thinking of any... Jesse Kazam comes to my mind, even though he's a Tarkov streamer, so... But he's actually just like a really positive guy, always positive like that. You know what? Gino. Actually, I meant to tell you this. I was going to tell you this off cam, but here we are. Gino with 3 O's.
Okay.
That dude, he's like the most, he's very like mental health focused, very positive. That man is just like a ray of little ball of sunshine.
Oh yeah.
Would recommend that guy. But then you got your docs and your, I don't know,
Andrews and
Nicocados out there.
He is, yeah. Well, he's had a whole fucking, oh God, that's another person. We talked about, I think about every 5th episode, we're going to just take a break from, a lot more and I don't want to say that every fucking session or every podcast is going to be fucking depressing.
Don't call it a
sad.
Session, damn it. It's therapy now.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want to say that it's, anyways, we decided that every 5th episode, we're going to do a weird deep dive on whether it be, I think Kirby, you mentioned a band that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Such a good story.
I think we're gonna either do that or the Liver King. I have for I guess context. I fucking love niche internet celebrities. I have a weird obsession about them. I don't know what it is. Like fucking King Cobra JFS. Right now I've been learning about Jupiter the Hybrid. which all sound like fucking band names. Like these are really like interesting and weird fucking people. A lot of them are freaks. Don't like Jupiter is an absolute fucking disgusting freak. He's a pedophile. Fuck that guy. But it's interesting to see. I mean, it's like Chris Chan. Chris Chan's the other one that, you know, the most documented person on the internet, where these people are just putting themselves out there. So it's almost like, again, watching a car or a train crash or whatever. You can't look away. Oh, fuck.
So I'm just curious here. You find like a internet person and you find them interesting and you just like deep dive and you're like, I want to know it all.
Not necessarily. So I follow a lot of creators. Like for more mainstream creators, it'd be like Oompaville or
someone like the internet historian.
Internet historian usually covers like events and stuff like that. He's not really focused on the creators themselves. But anyways, there's people like Underflow is a good if you people who are wanting to, I guess, deep dive into this weird fucking world.
If you're wanting to waste your time.
If you're wanting to waste your listen, if you're at work or whatever and you finish listening to the entire catalog of Time Well Meant podcasts, which up to now will only be 2.
Can't even get you through a work day, but we'll get you there.
We'll get you there.
You can repeat it.
Yeah. Just listen to it. It's like music. Once you listen to it again, you'll be able to interpret it differently.
You'll find more meaning.
Yeah, hell yeah. But no, there's creators out there, and usually they'll just cover these people. I want to say
I've definitely seen. I don't know who it was by, but I've seen like a video or two. Like Nikocado, I mentioned that because I've seen a video on him, and it's just like you said. It's like a train wreck. You can't look away. But once that video's over, I'm like, that dude's a freak. I don't really need any more of that.
And that's just the surface, man. Like that's literally just like the that's what's floating on top, man. You dive deep and all of a sudden you start finding all these like Daniel Larson. Like that's a name you've probably never heard of, but he has a whole and people will track these individuals back to like Daniel was on a TV or was on TV. I think it was on the news for something, and people went back and found the local news
clip
section. Yeah, that he was on. Like Chris Chan is the exact same way, where he was on the local news. He won some like contest where he had to talk about Mega Man or Sonic characters or whatever, and all of a sudden he has a little news segment. People found that, and like these individuals get documented, and some of them are more prolific than others. But the ones that are really that have a lot of information out there, or, you know, right now they're kind of like King Cobra's one that his story is still ongoing. Jupiter the Hybrid, his story is still kind of ongoing. You know, World of T-Shirt, that's another one that all of these people have kind of these ongoing sagas. And it's just interesting to see. A little part of it might be kind of fucked up because I'm like, man, at least my life isn't that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is just kind of interesting to see, you know, either what led them to this point or where their mindset is at. I don't know. People just interest me.
You should start taking a little more notes and learn from their mistakes. So in case this podcast ever gets a bit more of a following, we can avoid those.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is just don't fucking talk to kids in a weird way.
Talk to kids.
Yeah. It's pretty
at all. Don't speak to children.
Don't speak to. How are you ever going to communicate with your son again?
He'll figure it out.
Just start writing stuff down. No, even that's still talking. No. Can't do through text.
Only pointing.
Point and grunts. We'll go back to the fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
Caveman days.
God. Anyways, but that's kind of the.
That's what you have to look forward to.
Well, you have to look forward to. There you go. That's what you know.
Tune in next week on Time Well Meant Z.
It won't be next week. It'll be the week after next, but.
Oh, whenever we get there, tune in.
Whenever it is, be sure to tune in. This should come out on a Friday, I think. Last week was going to be.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be Friday.
It's supposed to be Friday. Last week was Saturday.
Our
not last week.
Fucked up, dude.
Yeah, dude, that fucking idiot. Let me tell you this fucking story, okay? So this fucking idiot, right? We get the YouTube channel up. We get all of our other socials up. By the way, if you don't know, follow us on all our socials, right? We're going to be posting fairly regularly. I don't want to say every day. Links will be in the description. If you're listening on Spotify, links will be there hopefully too. If you're listening, wherever you're listening to, whatever, however you're consuming this fucking content, links will be around. Consume more, yeah. Go listen again. Check out, we're going to be releasing some clips, all this other shit. Anyways, our fucking stupid ass editor. I mean, this fucking idiot. This guy, get all of our socials done, get the YouTube channel going. Next thing you know, we get a fucking message like, "Hey, bud, I can't put any of the links in there because YouTube has to verify that we're fucking humans because we just made it's a fresh channel. Okay, gotta verify. Can't let the AI take over just yet."
I think he failed the CAPTCHAs. I don't think that's actually a YouTube rule.
He was like, "I don't know how the fuck this statue is supposed to look upright. I don't get it. I thought the dog was supposed to be on his belly." You know? Yeah, they wanted me to point out all the buses. What are we considering to be a bus? I don't fucking get it.
Anything's a bus if you put enough people inside it.
What are the lines that we're fucking drawing for bus related queries? Okay. God damn it. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm the editor.
Yeah, he is.
I edit the podcast. When I went to go make the YouTube channel, I didn't realize. So that was why it didn't come out on a Friday. But this week it should be coming out on a Friday.
Well, see, that was the first one, so we didn't really set any sort of like precedent yet.
True.
But now,
true.
Going forward, it's going to be set Fridays. You're going to get a
Fridays.
hot dose of time well meant.
That's right. I thought about keeping it Saturday, but I think it's just easier and better. I think for me personally, I think for everyone to kind of have like a Friday afternoon. You're driving home, getting ready for the weekend, and what's the one thing?
You have a schedule for like noon on Friday?
It'll be 6 p.m. Central Time.
That's kind of late for driving home from work, dude. Have some respect.
Do you want to do 5? 9 for the 9 to 5ers? I'm thinking it's going to take you a little bit to get in your car.
Preference.
And then you're
going to work early every goddamn Friday.
Okay.
I'm already home, baby.
Okay. So not everyone's leaving their job early. Not everyone,
No, I'm a little privileged.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that I think that, I think it's a good time. I could be wrong. Again, I think I said it before. I'll say it again. We're still workshopping stuff. We're still just trying to figure this shit out, man. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
That's what I said. Actually, this was in episode 0, so nobody's heard this. As I've said for years and years, I just want to give people a giggle.
Yeah.
Just give you
It's a little hee hee ha ha.
Little Hawk Tuah.
Kirby will individually give every single listener a Hawk Tuah.
For every thumbs up on this video.
For every like. Be sure to like and subscribe. Just kidding. For every like and God, that's a fucking tall ask, I think.
I mean, I'm just going to go buy a pair of knee pads to pay off the microphone, so I might as well just keep using them.
Shit. There you go. Got a plan. That's what you need, is a fucking plan.
As we said, you have to have direction in your life. I might currently be directed straight towards a farm of dicks, but I know where I'm going.
Hell yeah. Listen, I mean, there's no place I'd rather be, honestly.
I was thinking like one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Fuck yeah. God. Anyways, I think we're gonna wrap up. But what?
Did we discuss any video games at all?
Were we gonna?
I don't think we mentioned Tarkov.
What what has changed in Tarkov since?
Well, I mean, nothing. But how could I not talk about Tarkov?
You talked about Tarkov streamers.
Oh yeah, you're right.
1 or 2 Tarkov streamers. So Tarkov.
Okay, well let's take a moment here towards the end of the podcast. I want to congratulate TJ.
Yeah.
On getting Kappa.
You guys, Kappa.
Round of applause.
Round of applause. Holy shit. I'm close. I'm very close. I need to find these. This is why I'm trying to wrap up so I can go find these fucking. I don't give a fuck about this podcast. I need my goddamn Kappa quest. I still need 3 more vitamins for Crisis, and I also need a glorious mask, and then I will have all of the items found in raid.
So close, you'll never find them, but.
Yeah. Oh man, I've run reserve, looking in like the under part where those like fenced in areas are, and I found 1 thing of vitamins in the past like 5 or 6
Did you need to go to the expansion area on Shoreline?
That was the other thing. I was trying to figure out. Well, I was doing woods. I started with woods because I always would find, in the medical camp and the USEC camp, always find a good amount of vitamins or just medical supplies in general. I also needed Ledexes at one point, but I ended up getting those. I crafted one and then found the other one. And then Just trying to get these fucking vitamins, man. Everything else, the ophthalmoscopes got super easy. I think I already had. I don't remember what else you need, but I had pretty much everything else like set in stone. I have a huge. I have like multiple
funny.
like boxes full, medical boxes of meds that I just keep. That most of them are found in Raid, anyways. So
It's just interesting because I forgot what I was gonna say. So it's not that interesting.
you already completed the quest, didn't you?
Kappa? Oh, that's
No,
exactly what I was
Crisis.
going to say. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right at the end trying to get your Kappa and you need Crisis. I completed it so long ago, I don't even remember what you have to do.
Yeah.
I know one of them's a 3BTG, right?
No, that was one of the other injector. You have to find like one of every injector. That one was easy because I kept all the injectors. I always have shitloads of injectors. But it was the one that's been rough is like the loose, because I never pick up vitamins. I always just buy them if I need to use them to craft or anything.
Yeah.
So I think I had maybe 3 in my stash, and the rest I had used for something. There's something that they're used for crafting wise that I must have, and I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is. Yeah, used them all up. Fucking hindsight's 2020, man. The same thing happens like right before I realized what you needed to turn in for the Kappa quest, which was you need the Glorious Mask. I had fucking sold one, and I mean I'm not even fucking with you. I found one. I was like, I was thinking like 100K or something like that. Sold it.
Didn't that same exact thing happen to TJ when he did his? He had just sold that key, and then
he sold
the quest,
yeah,
and
the
he needed that
Mysum.
damn key.
Yeah, the Dynex Mysum key, and yeah, he was like, "Fuck, man, and I was like, oh, I have 2 of these, just sitting in my inventory."
I looked at my inventory when he told me that, and I had 3.
Yeah, it's just like, how the fuck are you supposed to know? God, but yeah, that's been I guess now Tarkov's been fully mentioned. I don't know if we're gonna mention Tarkov every time.
I mean,
Eventually, we'll stop.
we just
playing one of
mentioned
these
just
days.
like talking about what we've been playing, and that's
Yeah.
what we've been playing a lot recently.
It's literally. I mean, I've been playing a little bit of Rocket League, a little bit of
over the
Overwatch,
weekend, dude. I
little Halo.
re-downloaded Soul Calibur 6.
Fuck, dude.
I fucking love the Soul
Same.
Calibur games.
Fuck.
Dude, let's play.
I honestly, I'm about to re-download now that you said something. I'm
Shit,
dog
let's
shit
go,
at it.
dude.
I'm fucking awful, but I love that game.
Dude, I'm down.
My buddy Ricky and I. Well, this will be the last little kind of before we wrap up. My buddy Ricky and I, right when I got into high school, man, I was like 18, 19, and I'd go over to his house, to visit him and his brother Jesse, who are both good friends of ours, and it was always so fucking cool because he loved Soul Calibur, and I would bring my PS3 over, and we'd just
So
fucking
the Soul Calibur
4, and we would play the shit out of Soul Calibur 4, man, and it was.
I think I went over to their house and played with them at some point. I'm pretty sure Rick whipped my ass.
Dude, Rivka is so good. So it got to the point where I was like, damn, man, like because it used to be when we first started playing, it was like, man, we were back and forth, man, and it was always some fucking good fucking.
But he owned it, and you had to go home.
So fucking yeah. I think it's because it's funny too because I think I gave them or I let them borrow or keep or whatever. I gave them my PS3, and that's why he had it for so long, and it was like
amazing.
Yeah, because Anyways, but wrapping up, man, I just want to say this, that there is something to this. There is something to this podcast that we are still figuring out. We are still trying to find our voice. The main thing I wanted to say, though, is that I want everyone that's listening to understand that, Kirby and I are not perfect people. We aren't these, picturesque. We're never gonna present ourselves as that way. For those of you wondering about like the YouTube version, if you ever see a cut or an edit, it's usually because I'm cutting something out. If there's background sound, microphone, whatever. Like if you ever see that sort of thing, or if we have to stop in the middle of us talking about something, but we're never going to present.
Dog at the door.
Yeah, whatever. We're never going to try and present ourselves as something more than we are. We are imperfect people. We have made mistakes in our lives. We have done things that we aren't proud of. We have lived our lives just as anybody else. And, and I'm not saying that we're fucking super weird, creepy, fucking sick, perverted fucks. But I am saying, there is stuff in life that we aren't proud of. And that's normal. That's normal. That's totally human. And going forward, if this does become something that people end up looking up to, I just want to reiterate that we aren't and never will be perfect. We are just two guys sitting together, trying to
shooting the shit.
trying to shit. Yes, we're both.
No, I said shooting the shit.
Oh,
Yes, we are trying to shit live on camera for all of you.
the whole time. No,
You see me shifting in my chair this whole episode?
soon you're just gonna like rise up slowly, like I did it. No, but we're both just fucking two guys who are just trying to put our experiences out into the world and talk about.
We're just sharing our experience. I think what I would like to reiterate there is I don't know what's best for you or for me or for anybody or any situation out there, but as Sylas said, we've had these experiences. We've learned a little bit, just a tiny little bit, and it's just that mental health is so important. In the world we live in is not designed for us. It's designed against us. And we need to be able to talk about it, talk to each other, love one another, man. Back to the old hippie life.
Hell yeah. I believe that. Yeah. But, and I would love to drone on and on about this. But I think, as much time and as much as I would like to go on and on and on and on, I think that was time well meant.